Hello everyone, we are Group 10 and we're going to present to you the video of the tutorial in week 49. My name is Ganiel and later on you will see Shira and Jennifer. The topic of the tutorial is learning in alliances, and the question that we are regarding in this video is what are the different perspectives on inter-organizational learning in international strategic alliances. Several studies have identified sharing knowledge as their main dominant objective. And you can think about sharing of knowledge regarding technology, know-how, or capabilities. The literature has identified two dimensions of knowledge management: knowledge acquiring and knowledge assessing. The first dimension, knowledge acquiring, also referred to as exploration by March or knowledge generation by Spender, turns around activities that increase or extend the organization's stock of knowledge. In this dimension of knowledge management, alliances are seen as vehicles of learning in which each member firm uses the alliance to transfer and absorb the partner's knowledge base. By forming alliances, partners may gain access to embedded knowledge of other organizations and therefore gain access to other or new organizational skills and capabilities. It's a complex process involving various levels of organizations and actors, but is manageable by both partners. According to Inkpen, partners in alliances acquire knowledge and skills through a process of knowledge management and creation. The second dimension, knowledge assessing, also referred to as exploitation by March and knowledge application by Spender, turns around activities that deploy existing knowledge in order to create value. Here, alliances are seen as a form of knowledge sharing in which each member firm accesses its partner's stock of knowledge in order to exploit complementarities, but with the intention of maintaining its distinctive base of specialized knowledge.
After Ganiel just described to you the two different dimensions, I'm going to tell you more about the knowledge integration. As you can see here, the individual firm, the inter-firm alliance, and market contracts are differently good at integrating knowledge. The individual firm is best at integrating knowledge. The inter-firm alliances are second, and the worst are market contracts at integrating knowledge. The reason why inter-firm alliances are not as good as individual firms at integrating knowledge is because they cannot make use of higher order organizing principles, such as standardized directives and rules. And if a company requires a broad range of knowledge, it makes more sense for the efficiency of integration to have each company specialize in their own field of knowledge and then link them through strategic alliances. About the incongruity of product and knowledge domain, Brand and his colleague found that if this incongruity is high, meaning that the knowledge types you need to produce your product are very different, so you need tons of different knowledge types in order to produce one product, this also promotes the formation of inter-firm collaborations, because it would be way too costly to internalize all these expertises within one company. And thus, the firms need to form these inter-firm collaborations, and that way they can produce economies of scope for these types of knowledge by making their own surplus knowledge accessible for their partner firms. Future uncertainty has been another perspective in inter-organizational learning that Grant and his colleague found, and they say that if the uncertainty of future knowledge requirements is high, the motivation to form inter-firm collaborations is high as well. This is, of course, because companies want to know the most about their industry and what the possibilities are that could be happening. This leads then to an increased number of inter-firm collaborations. Another part that Grant and his colleague found are the early mover advantage. They say that if the benefits of an early mover advantage are very high, then companies are more likely to form inter-firm collaborations in order to be able to access and integrate knowledge that they could not access without the inter-firm collaborations. And they say that this is specifically the case in technologically driven environments.
Firms contribute various types of knowledge and skills to their international joint ventures. For local partners, a critical knowledge contribution revolves around understanding the local market, cultural and environmental conditions. The primary knowledge contribution of foreign partners generally involves technology, management expertise, and global support. Although the foreign partner does not necessarily enter the international joint venture with the specific objective of knowledge acquisition, access to knowledge originating in the local country is an important factor in motivating the foreign partner to choose an international joint venture investment rather than a full ownership. The partner's valuation of knowledge involves two stages. The first stage occurs prior to the information of the international joint venture, when the partners consider the value associated with gaining access to a potential partner's knowledge. If the degree of gaining access to a partner's knowledge satisfies the partner's resource requirements, an international joint venture may result. The second stage occurs after the formation of the international joint venture, when the partners gain access to the other partner's knowledge. The question for both partners now becomes, is access sufficient, or should the knowledge be acquired? Inkpen believes that a stable joint venture is one which the partners believe the benefits of the relationship exceed to the costs of termination. At the time an international joint venture is formed, each partner is dependent on the others for critical inputs and resources. Thus, the firm must cooperate to ensure that these critical inputs are transformed into a productive entity. Substantial knowledge acquisition by one partner over time can erode the value of the knowledge contributed by the other partner. This breaks down the bargaining relationship between the partners, and this race to learn will subsequently create instability in the relationship between the partners. For example, as a foreign partner increases its knowledge of the local market, instability of the international joint venture relationship becomes more probable because of the foreign partner gains bargaining power. When the joint venture was formed, local knowledge may have contributed to the mutual needs of both partners, and when the need dissipates, the foreign partner acquires local knowledge, and that partner may view the joint venture as unnecessary. For the local partner, this shift is undesirable because the balance of the power has shifted. So, as we've heard, the knowledge-based literature identifies two dimensions of interorganizational learning within international strategic alliances. The paper by Grant and Badenfuller, they provide a clear overview of contrasting predictions about alliances regarding to those dimensions. So, knowledge accessing predicts that alliance partners will maintain and possibly increase their knowledge specialization. Knowledge acquiring predicts that the knowledge base of alliance partners will tend to converge as each partner learns from the other. Knowledge accessing predicts that alliance partners will maintain and possibly increase their knowledge specialization. Knowledge accessing thesis predicts that alliances will tend to be longer term, and other things remaining equal, their stability will increase rather than decline with time. Knowledge acquiring predicts that alliances will have finite lives, that they are very successful in learning, causing their demise, and will be unstable as a result of competition for learning. If alliances are about acquiring knowledge, then each firm's number of alliances will be limited by its absorptive capacity. Conversely, knowledge accessing alliances would permit a firm to engage in extensive networks of alliances. The greater is the rate of change of knowledge and uncertainty over future changes, then the greater the risk spreading and option values of alliances under the knowledge accessing approach. However, there is no reason to suppose that the value of learning increases under such circumstances. Indeed, uncertainty might discourage investments in learning. So, we hope that we have given you good insight in the different perspectives of international or inter-organizational learning, and we will see you in the tutorial of week 49.